This week on Arizona Illustrated, an end-of-the-year special featuring memories of Winterhaven.
More lights, I think. We need more lights.
Winn Bundy and a bookshop at the end of the world.
I want to get the right book to the right person.
Remembering Lute's first day at the U of A.
You build a program with good people.
A stroll through Catalina State Park.
I've driven by your park every day and I've never gone in.
And from the vault, the Ho-Ho Hotline.
And what would you like to have for Christmas?
Welcome to the annual holiday episode of Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. This week, the AZPM crew and I are filming in one of Tucson's historic neighborhoods, Winterhaven, home of the Winterhaven Festival of Lights. You know, there may be no more cherished local tradition than strolling these tree-laden streets with family and friends, surrounded by thousands of lights. Unfortunately, in an effort to ensure the safety and well-being of the community, the 2020 festival was canceled. So we offer you this behind-the-scenes story filmed in 2015, Winterhaven Memories.
Let's drop that down a little. Been doing it so many years, I just wing it. It's plain and simple. You pick an area, start decorating. I'm approaching 30,000, give or take several hundred. So I lose count. My name is Sean Bethel, and I've been a Winterhaven resident for 53 years. Today we're doing the lighting for the Festival of Lights, which is going into its 65th year. Every year you have to replenish lights because you're always going to have some burnout. They break, you get frustrated and you break them yourself. It's, well, a few $100s here and there for lights. I'm trying to remember how we did this last year. We got to go up to that one. So here we go. This is what we do. Just go on up. I think we're approaching about 36 man hours right now. It's a lot of work, but it's gratifying, you know, to see when the kids come through and marvel at the lights and how they got up to where they are. It helps to have the big ladder trucks here to help you stage it.
The Festival of Lights started when the neighborhood first opened in 1949. Winterhaven was the vision of a single man, Charles Brady Richards, and he envisioned it to have Midwestern-style, non-native plants. The other part of his vision was a Christmas theme for the entire neighborhood. The streets even have Christmas-themed names. This was inspired by a visit he made to Beverly Hills in the 1930s, where he saw a festival of lights. It became a unifying annual event for the neighborhood, and there was a lot of healthy competition, and C.B. Richards personally judged which was the most outstanding light display every year.
We've received the Grand Prize Award 19 times. It's very special because this means that the community appreciates what we do. I'm Jeffrey Scott Brown. I'm Stan and Shirley's eldest son, and we moved into the neighborhood when I was 4 months old.
My name is Shirley Brown, and I have lived in Winterhaven for 50 years. Our first one, we went to Montgomery Ward's, and we bought a Santa with the elves and a sleigh. And then I had seen the papier-mâché nativity, and so we did that for a couple years, and I kept adding to it. By that time, Jeffrey was a little older, and he started with some of his decorations.
We could have just stuck with the same old store-bought display, maybe add to it a little bit here and there throughout the years, but we chose not to. Really, it's our imagination has gone wild a few times, but the idea really is we want people to know we love them. There's a lot of myths in regards to Winterhaven and the Festival of Lights that people have just perpetuated over the years. They think that we get a credit on our electric bill, which is not true. They think that the lights are donated by a company. No, it's not true. We pay out of our pocket, and it is also not required for any resident in here to decorate. It has been since the 1940s all the way up to now voluntarily. People realize when you move in here, you move in knowing that you're going to decorate during the holidays. So if you don't, you are going to really stand out because everything is so bright and everything has lights on it. Everything has lights on it here, really, during the festival.
For somebody to come through here and see big trees, we got Aleppo pines and aldericas and all these pine trees. It's different than most of the Tucson area. I look forward to this every year. It's kind of a real happy experience. It's just beautiful out here and people come here and enjoy themselves. Just makes me feel good about providing something to the community. I don't know, I have a feeling it keeps going. Overall, more lights, I think. We need more lights.
Best-selling mystery writer J.A. Jance describes the subject of our next story as a beacon of hope. Somebody who says, I don't care that everybody says it's impossible. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it here in the middle of the desert. When Winn Bundy passed away in October at the age of 90, she had operated the Singing Wind Bookstore for 46 years, gaining global attention by getting the right book to the right person.
Used to be red mud road. I'm in clay. Slip, slide, it's awful. 10% grade between the gate and down here. Every morning I go to the gate and open the gate about 8 o'clock. I don't like to have customers till 9, but at 8 I open it so it'll be open for people. People pull, as you can see. I've pulled it back together a bunch of times. There. People come not to see me, they come to see the books. I'm Winifred J. Bundy, and I have the Singing Wind Bookshop and Ranch. My mother was Winifred, and she was Winnie. So my first husband, who's been dead for quite a while, he said, well, we got to avoid confusion here. So you're going to be Winn, which is fine.
Hello, it's a group from Tucson.
We are. Okay, I'm going to give you a tour here. These are all Indians of the Southwest, right in here. On the bottom, it's Iroquois, Cherokee, and the rest of the 5 civilized nations. And then you jump up, and these are the short Californians. That's the size of the book, not the people. Now the swingers, and be careful, just turn them. Don't swing them, okay? Because you might get killed by books. As a child, I either wanted to have a bookshop or an ice cream parlor. Those were the dreams that I had when I was tiny, because those are the things that I really enjoyed. So I decided the bookshop would win out. Then it's autobiography, biography, and history. I grew up all over the United States. I went to 22 schools before I got out of high school. My husband and I married when I was about, I think I just turned 19. And we had met when I was in my last year in high school. He always wanted a ranch. That's all Bob dreamed about, was owning a ranch. And it had to do with his childhood. Yeah, I mean, they lost a farm and he never got over that. I noticed an ad in the paper, and we had been looking with Dan McKinney. He had been showing us places, and we came to this place. He showed us this place, and he said, Bob, I think this is the best buy you can ever find. And we went all over. You know, we trooped the whole thing. Then he says, no, Dan, I'm not going to buy it now. And he says, what's the matter with you? Have you lost your mind? And he says, no, but I think in about 6 months I'll get it a lot less. I would watch the ads, you know, and I said one day, I said, hey, honey, there's this, that sounds like the same ranch. Call Dan and make an offer. Make an all-cash offer. And that's what we did, and we got it. Our Singing Wind Ranch, it's a little less than 640 acres, which is a mile square. We had about 150 calves, and we feed them. But it was me that was feeding them. I went back to school, and I got 2 masters, a master's of library science and a master's of history. Everybody said, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to open the bookshop. And they all, ha, ha, ha. You know, ranchers and cowboys are so dumb they won't buy any books. And I said, we'll see about that. I wanted to have the bookshop on the ranch because of that. I resented their feeling that those people don't read. And I would tell them in school, I'd say, they're much more qualified in reading than you are. And they have a better background in literature and history than you do. And I meant it. We worked 2 years cutting mesquite for the shelves. My husband cut it, and then I'd stain it. And the bookshop opened in 1974. I want to get the right book to the right person. Whatever subject that they're really interested in, I try to find out. When I give the tour, I try to find out what the person's interested in, and then I direct them after the tour to the books that I think perhaps they would like. All right, over here, we have 2 shelves of the creme of nature writing. We get worldwide visitors, and they come from Japan, Sweden, Norway. I get lots from Norway and Sweden. They come in thick droves. That just shows you, books open so many doors and windows to people. I guess it's just everything that I ever wanted to do. I'll probably die with my boots on here. Dreams make up the substance of books. They take you to worlds that you don't know anything about and that you want to find out about, and they make you dream.
We said goodbye to another local legend in 2020, Lute Olsen. For Wildcat basketball, the 1982-83 season, the season before the coach came to Tucson, was one to forget. The team compiled a dismal 4 wins, 24 loss record, and their Pac-10 record of 1-17 still stands as the worst in team history. By the time he retired, Coach Olsen had amassed 589 wins and only 187 losses. Coach Olsen passed away in Tucson in August. So now we honor and remember him by looking at the day he was introduced to the community in 1983.
In hiring Lute Olsen, Arizona now has the winningest coach in Iowa history. He was National Coach of the Year in 1980, Big Ten Coach of the Year in 1979 and 1981. In 10 years as a head coach, Olsen's record is 191 wins, 93 losses. He took Iowa into the NCAA regional playoffs 5 times, including this season.
I don't think there's anyone more highly respected in the field of intercollegiate athletics in the area of basketball than Lute. And that comes from his peers. It comes from people with whom he's been associated with.
At least 50 candidates applied for the UA post. Dempsey said that fact should quell any charges that no one would want to take over the basketball program after this past season. Dempsey first met Olsen last Friday night after Iowa lost to Villanova in the NCAA Midwest Regional Semifinals. Last Saturday, they talked for 5 to 6 hours. An agreement followed quickly. For Lute Olsen, it was a time to move on.
So I think the time is right. I guess we've had great success at Iowa. We've had tremendous support. We've had tremendous young people with which to work, and I have always been a firm believer, whether it was in high school or junior college or in college, that you build a program with good people.
Olsen will meet with returning U of A players very soon. He said he will begin immediately the task of recruiting new basketball talent, part of the job of rebuilding the program.
We will work as hard, I guess, as we can work to try to provide a first-class program. And the work will have to begin, obviously, immediately.
Olsen signed a one-year contract as mandated by state law. He said he was given no specific commitment, but he said Dempsey promised he will give Olsen time to get the basketball program back into shape.
I have a great deal of confidence in the people that I have met with Dr. Dempsey, with the committee, that they recognize that it is not going to be a case of waving a wand and suddenly it's going to happen. It's going to take a great deal of time and effort to get it going, but the challenge is really, to me at this point, a very exciting thing.
Just a few miles north of Tucson is a place that might have been a housing development with a golf course. But instead, thanks to an effort to save the land in the 1970s and 80s, it is one of the most visited destinations in the Arizona State Parks and Trails system. It was also closed for a time this summer due to the Bighorn Fire, and again in October due to the quickly controlled Catalina fire. Here is a virtual visit to Catalina State Park.
I've been here as the park manager for approximately 10 years. I love the diversity of it. You know, you have the desert, and then you have the mesquite bosque, then you have the uplands, and then if you want, you can hike from here on the Romero Canyon Trail and get all the way up to Summerhaven, where there's aspen, and it's like Colorado and a ski resort up there. So I just love the diversity. I love the spring when we have really good wildflowers. And we'll have poppies and lupin and all sorts of wildflowers. I also love the seasonal water flow. We have two washes, the Canyon del Oro wash and the Sutherland wash. And I love when those are running with water, and a lot of our trails cross those, and so you have to jump across boulders to get across. And so I love when the water is flowing here in the park.
It's different every day, every time you come, early morning or in the evening, as long as you aren't out after dark. It's just a great place. It's peaceful. I like that I can bring my dog on a leash, which is great.
We sold everything we had back in Ohio, and all we have is a truck and trailer, 2 horses, and 2 Jack Russell dogs. Russell. And a smile all the time. My name's Bob Grinnell, and me and my wife were traveling with our horses around the country, and we wanted to come out here to Arizona and spend the winter, and we wanted to stop out here at Catalina State Park. It's a beautiful park. We've been here before, and we just want to come do some trail riding and camping and hanging out.
So you're changing out your concert series. So who's our next concert? The park is about 5,500 acres, and the previous park manager, I don't think he counted them, but the estimate was about over 5,000 saguaros that are in the park. Behind me you see a really great example of an old saguaro. They say that saguaros tend to grow their arms around 50 to 75 years, and so you can see how big the arms are and how many there are, so you can guess how old this one is. What I love about this big saguaro is that it provides habitat for so many different species of animals. Some of the birds and wildlife that we get here, we have bobcats and javelinas and mule deer and white-tailed deer. We do have mountain lions. I definitely like the reptiles and the lizards, and so my favorite lizard is the zebra-tailed lizard. We have a lot of snakes. Some people don't like snakes, but we have a lot of snakes. We're really a birding destination. We were just designated an important bird area through the Audubon Society. It's called the Catalina Sky Island Important Bird Area. We just got that designation with the Saguaro National Park and the Forest Service.
God, that looks really cool. My name is Robin. We're out here doing a nature study. We came looking for birds. I mean, you can look at something in a book, but being immersed in it is just a different experience. You get to see how the birds move or any of the other animals move, if they fly or if they hop on the ground. It's just completely different.
What's neat about this Romero Ruins Trail, Francisco Romero, who was a rancher basically in the 1850s roughly, came and ranching. That's what he wanted. He wanted to ranch. On this Romero Ruins Trail, you'll see ruins that are from the Hohokam, but then Francisco Romero built his homestead here. So in terms of representing Native Americans, we have in the visitor center some artifacts that are in a display that they can come and see and visit and read about and look. So there's some pottery, different artifacts from the Hohokam history. I'm amazed at how many people say, I've driven by your park every day and I've never gone in. It's a pretty interesting history, pretty complicated history, but basically back in the 70s, there was a group that wanted to develop it, and it was going to be a golf course with homes around that, and then a lot of different private citizens, coalitions were involved and said, no, we want to protect this. We want this to be open space. And so basically what happened, 1983, at that time Governor Bruce Babbitt signed it into a state park, as Catalina State Park in May of 1983. I love wilderness areas, and so I'm just so thankful for that group of people back in the 70s that had the foresight to set this aside. I think what drives me is I want to protect those wilderness values of the park, and so we want to offer lots of environmental education programs. We want to offer opportunities for solitude because we're so close to the city and people need that.
An important note, Romero Pools Trail is closed until May 1st, 2021 due to impacts of the Bighorn Fire. For more information on Catalina State Park, please visit azstateparks.com. For boys and girls all across Arizona, waking up to a pile of gifts mysteriously delivered by St. Nick is the highlight of the season. But even before those gifts are wrapped, Santa, and in this case Mrs. Claus, have to check in to see who's been naughty and who's been nice. As we see in this 1985 fan favorite from the vault, the Ho-Ho Hotline.
Since December 9th, Santa Claus and the Misses have taken up residence at the Devon Gables Healthcare Center in Tucson. They left the elves in the workshop and they answered the phones, the ho-ho hotline, listening to the Christmas wishes of good little girls and boys.
Hello dear, how are you this morning? Are you waiting for Christmas to come? And what would you like to have for Christmas? Well, we'll bring you whatever you want. And it'll be under the Christmas tree. And bye-bye. Be a good girl.
Santa Claus, how many little boys and girls did you hear from this holiday season?
About 3,000. All the way from 2 to 9.
Mrs. Santa, what was the most requested gift that they asked you for?
Cabbage dolls. Boys want trucks.
They mostly ask for bicycles and trucks and some, well, they can't have no sleds down here, but maybe roller skates.
Mrs. Santa, what was it like to talk to all those children on the phone?
I think it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. It's made me very happy.
I asked them if they've been good, and they've all of them said they've been good, and I hope they have.
Santa Claus, what would you like for Christmas?
Well, I would like to have peace on earth and goodwill to men.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
To see all of the Arizona Illustrated stories produced over the years, including the From the Vault segments, visit our website, azpm.org/Arizona Illustrated. Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated, and happy holidays. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next year.